Good evening, ladies and squirt guns. Hermit Bob here, coming to you from Hermit Bob's Dragonfly Garden Bistro executive offices or my desk. Anyway, I got my computer open because today, when I was perusing YouTube, which I do occasionally, I do too much. I stay on that channel forever looking at a bunch of dumb stuff. But I did run across one story that I hadn't heard before, and it's from 2 years ago. It was a waitress got fired for a $10,000 tip in Benton Harbor. And I think that's Michigan. Anyway, the restaurant was called the Mason Jar Cafe. Sounds like a quaint little upper United States kind of rural can your own tomatoes type of area. So anyway, she was a really good waitress, and somebody gave her a $10,000 tip, and the person that gave it to her said, "I want you to share this with all your other food servers." So she did, and there was people. Apparently, this is the conjecture. There's hardly anything written about her because she got fired, and she went on YouTube, not YouTube, social media, and talked about it, and it really upset the management. They called her and told her they were going to be having lawyers look into suing her for maligning the restaurant, and if she didn't take it down, and she hired a lawyer to protect her, and then disappeared. There's been nothing written about her since it happened. But the conjecture that some of the people there, the news people or the people investigating, had found out that there was kitchen staff that wanted some of that money, and she didn't give it to them because the person told her to share it with the other food servers and the other wait staff. So anyway, she did, and she got fired. And there was one interview, and she was really upset. She says, "I just want to be left alone. I don't want to have to go through any of this anymore." And this is just another sign of part of the reason I was suggesting uh, a new style of restaurant that has robots instead of servers. Now, my reason for wanting the robots is that I've gotten so many meals at, at restaurants where the meal has been overcooked under the heat lamps. They have heat lamps where the cooks put the food up ready to take out, and the cooks and the waiters and waitresses take their time coming back to get it. They might have had to go smoke a cigarette or something. Who knows the reason? But I'd say the last 5 or 6 times I've gone out to eat, my food has had the heat lamp burn, dried out, uh, ruined food. French fries that have sat under the heat lamp too long are like little sticks. It's and I know what it looks like because I've been there. I've seen the food sit up there, and I've pulled it back down. I've remade the plates, and then I've pulled it back down and just put the ticket back up, and the the waiter will come in like 10 minutes later and goes, "Hey, how come this isn't up yet?" And I go, "Well, it was up. I had to take it down." And because I want the food to taste good, I want it to get out. That's the only thing I really care about is I want the food to taste good. What they do with their tips is their business. I don't care about that. But that would be my main reason I want robots for waiters. And then I also said, don't make them look like human beings. I mean, the stuff they can do, I think it'd be funny as hell if they looked like cartoon waiters and waitresses and bartenders and all that from Bugs Bunny or what is it, Warner Brothers movies or even the Disney movies. They always have really good caricatures of uh, of of things like that, like Ratatouille, like the chefs and stuff. Anyway, that was my thing. But I also said, another advantage is that you would not have any tipped employees. You would not have this kind of stuff going on. I've seen stuff similar to this, never $10,000, but I've seen some cutthroat stuff go on between waiters and busboys, screwing the busboys out of money just because the waiter wanted to make some more money that night. And you hear about it when working in the restaurant. I just stayed out of the tip things. The only people in the restaurant that didn't share tips or have to pay anybody were the bartenders. Bartenders didn't have to share their tips with anybody because they sat behind the bar getting some of the worst customers on the face of the earth, in my opinion, and they can't get away from them. But their cocktail waitresses make lots of money, and the cocktail waitress would sometimes give the bartenders money. But they were the only ones not caught up in this web of I didn't get enough money, and so apparently the cooks and kitchen staff wanted money from that waitress divvying up the money, but the customer didn't tell her to go with somebody else. So just another reason to get that going. So I don't want to run the restaurant. I don't want to open it up. I can certainly give you suggestions on what I observe, but you'd have human waiters, I mean, human cooks and chefs and dishwashers and people in another part of in another building with just a corridor attached to this dining room. And the dining room would be serviced by all robots, except for maybe 3 managers, just to be able to put out any fires or stop fires from getting started. Anyway, that's it. Yep. Call me crazy, call me old fool. You won't be the first one. And smoke them if you got them. And tonight I saw the most wonderful, another YouTube, wonderful way of preparing a chuck roast to make it taste and almost look like prime rib. And I'm salivating right now thinking about that. Tomorrow I'm going to go find me a chuck roast and I'm going to do that. And it's a sous vide, if you've ever heard of that. And I would love to do that, and I will try that. It's a 2-day process. Anyway, I would smoke it first for a little bit and then sous vide it. Talk to you next time.